Coming to you live from the shitty White Sox baseball studios. It is the Believe in the South Side show. I am Steve-O. You can find me on Twitter at Drunk Shy Sox Fan. Joining me is my co-host, who looks like he's making a little tweet right now, but also might be messing with the soundboard for the day, is Carrie at that Base By Fan. And
Base By.
Base By Fan. It's got two eyes. It's not L's. Unlike the White Sox, Carrie does not have L's. And we have a very special guest today. Carrie, do you want to introduce him?
Yes, I will. I would love to. It's nice because for once, there are more of my people than your people on this podcast, Steve. So fuck you. But
only one Gentile. Only one Gentile.
Only one guy. And I would love to introduce our homie on White Sox Twitter and our good friend Man Soo Lee to the podcast. What's going on?
It's great. Listen, it's great to be here. I wish I was here under, better circumstances where we can talk about how good the team was, and they were hitting 22 home runs in 22 straight games. But we're here. We stink. So let's cook.
Yep. Let's fucking talk about how bad this team is. Do you know what? Before we hop into that, maybe we should start on a more positive note. Our guy, Man Soo Lee, can you tell us why you decided to take the namesake of one former bullpen coach of the Chicago White Sox during the 2005 championship run?
Yeah, for sure. So the namesake derives from the fact that, in 2005, I was, 13 years old, and my cousin, he was like all in on the bullpen game. He's like bullpen catcher, bullpen catcher, bullpen catcher, bullpen catcher. It happened to be Man Soo Lee, who happened to be like a great dude. Like he interacted with all the fans. He interacted with everybody. He lived up to like the kind of, for lack of better terms, like the cult status. Like he lived up to it. And, so I always loved Man Soo Lee for that reason. And so when I made this account, which I didn't think, would turn into this, I chose Man Soo Lee and, because he's so great. And, I owe it to him to, talk about how great he's been. Like his KBO stat, like as far as the KBO goes, he is like the elite catcher. He's a GOAT. He's a GOAT for sure. And, you got to wonder, like, him knowing how to win and being in the bullpen on the White Sox, you can't just, like, dismiss that, You can't just dismiss that. There's something there. Someone who knows how to win comes into your bullpen. He catches your bullpen guys. You got Cliff Polite, Neil Kotz throwing, like, 65 games to the tune of sub-3 ERAs. And I think Neil Kotz might have even been sub-2, or Polite might have been sub-2. And then you had Hermanson and Takatsu and Jenks. So you, like that year, you went through 3 closers. And it's just like, what's the constant? The constant is Man Soo Lee. So
I love that. That's fucking fantastic.
So that's the reason behind my namesake. And he's also like a really good dude. I did that first Sox Math video. His nephew reached out to me. It's been
that's dope as hell.
Yeah, it's been really good. The point is, love, appreciate Man Soo Lee. Don't judge him based off of my shitty White Sox takes. I guess is where I'm coming from. So yeah,
absolutely.
That's the story behind Man Soo Lee. So I mean, it's rooted in family and it's rooted in passion. It's rooted in the fact that he loves baseball and he continues to promote it overseas. He's not here right now. He's overseas and he's just continuing to just push that shit. And he's awesome. He's awesome. I can't even come close to living up to his namesake, but
absolutely. Well, we've got the laugh emoji here for Shingo Takatsu in the comments already in our first comment for today. But Shingo, the White Sox could use a Shingo Takatsu right now, honestly, with what we saw on Friday. Carrie disagrees.
Did you not watch Shingo Takatsu? He was not good.
He was fine for a
You
period
guys
of time.
were like 10 when that happened. He
He
was
was
When they used to smash that gong.
yeah.
I know.
He exactly the gong. Oh man,
He was
talk
just like-
about political incorrectness today.
Yeah. You couldn't get away with that anymore.
No, absolutely not. Well, I guess Mike Clevenger can get away with playing Gold Digger though as his opening song, right? But what were your thoughts on this past series here, Mr. Man Soo Lee himself?
The thoughts are, I mean, it's pretty standard, right? It's like, all right, this team is not that good. They're playing a team that's really good. And so game 1 and game 2, they showed you like a little bit of fight. They showed you what you believe in. They showed you basically with your main guys out, right? You got Moncada out. You got your left side of the infield out. You're missing bullpen pieces in Hendricks, Crochet, Kelly, and
Foster.
Yep.
Thank you. And so, given that, they played the first 2 games of the series, I feel like they played well. They like refused to quit. They fought. The offense was decent. But the frustrating part is like there was no, they score 8, they give up 9. They score 4, they give up 5. They score 1, they give up 2. They score 0, they give up 1. It's just like, it's very frustrating. It feels to me like there's some sort of like mental block almost, whereas, they'll tie it up, then give it up, or they'll take the lead and they'll give it up. And it's like, it wasn't a surprise yesterday. We went into the 9th with a 2-run lead. And you look at the Twitter feed. The Twitter feed is like, oh, Ray Lowe's coming in. It's like
On Friday. Yep.
This is how this is going to play out. Like, we're going to get walked off, whatever. So he gives up the first home run, and then he gives up another hit, and then he gives up the next home run. And it's exactly what, you fear, right? It's like, here is this team that is on the precipice of potentially being great, right? Potentially. And the potential there is rooted in the fact that you're healthy, number one, which they can't even come close to doing. And it's rooted in the fact that you have that, outside of the one Orioles game, they won an extra 7-6. They just can't do it. And I don't know what that mental block is on their end. It just feels like when they get close to winning, they don't know how to close it. And they need to figure out how to close it. And, losing Liam is like the one thing you can't fault them for. Like, you can't be faulted for that. But beyond that, like, nothing they do makes sense. It's like, here are the positions where we're strong, but if we go down to injury like we have the past 3 years, we're very weak. And they just refuse to build that depth. And so on my end, it's just like outrageously frustrating because it's not even like a payroll thing, right? Like, you can build depth. You can keep your payroll under whatever they're at now and have like decent depth, but they just pre-arb extended everybody. And then they sunk their costs in that. And I don't disagree necessarily with, necessarily pre-arb extensions, if you're doing it the right way. But it's like they took these pre-arb extensions, they gave it to them. These guys aren't performing, and they're using it to be like, listen, our payroll's here and we're constricting it because of this. And so,
Right, exactly. When you're working on that's my problem though with the pre-arb extensions. I love that you brought that up. Particularly they gave them to Eloy and Luis, right? And if I'm not mistaken, they gave pre-arb extensions to these guys before they even played a major league game. That is so, number one, it's gutsy and it's ballsy, and I get it. But when you're working on a budget, we aren't the Los Angeles Dodgers. We aren't going to be outspending teams. We know that historically. Why are you giving these guys extensions before they hit arbitration if you're not going to supplement it? You're banking your future on guys that you've never even seen play on the major league level. And I mean, yes, we saw it. Eloy has that power, but he can't stay healthy. Luis, the case is out on Luis Robert right now. We've seen flashes of absolute greatness where he is as good, if not better, than Byron Buxton.
I swear to God, you put Luis Robert on the Dodgers, he wins an MVP. I swear to God.
He doesn't have lineup protection. He doesn't. And on top of that, we don't have player development. Like, think about every single top prospect and every single, first round draft picks too. I mean, it seems like these guys just aren't panning out. And you've got to think about, your how you're scouting and how you're developing players.
What drives me, I think, the most crazy about this team is the lack of sink pitches, the lack of chase. I mean, like their chase rate is always, I think, number one in the MLB the past 2 years, and they hit ground balls. So you hit ground balls, you strike out a fuck ton, and you don't see pitches, and you don't walk. What do you think's going to happen? What do you think offensively is going to happen? You're going to have exactly what they have right now, right? It's like every 2 days they'll have a big offensive outburst because they're actually like connecting and actually hitting. But and
for one inning. One inning.
But the thing is, they also don't hit home runs either. So like, none of us should be surprised,
except for Saturday, where they do hit 3 home runs, and then no one else is on base. No one else is on base.
Yeah, exactly. And that goes with what I'm saying. They strike out, they don't walk, and they don't see pitches. Like, I watched Sebi Zavala today go up to bat 3 times and saw 3 pitches. I'm pretty sure he saw like 3 or 4.
That the 10th inning at bat by him was abysmal.
Yeah. Just
grounding out to the left side in that situation it's fatal.
Yeah. There's nothing you can do. I mean, like, this team is just so bad at scoring and with runners in scoring position and less than, 1 out. I mean, less than 2 outs. I mean, it's a mental roadblock for this team. And I don't know if there's really any getting out of it, so we'll see.
Absolutely. No, it is. It's absolutely infuriating.
Today, I was just going to say, Steve, you could tell today they just quit. Today was like okay, let's just get the fuck out of here. We already lost the series. What's another game if we lose? Like, do they care? Like, I don't think so.
No, I mean, is there anything positive? I'll ask both of you guys this question. Is there anything positive to take away from what we've seen out of White Sox baseball so far this year?
Yeah, I mean, you're 7-15, right? You're closer to the number 1 pick than you are like a playoff contender. That being said, there does at least seem to be an emphasis on hitting the fucking ball in the air, trying to hit it over the fence, to your point. And I think Kamka tweeted this. In the games that they have multiple home runs, they're like 2-4. In the games they have no home runs, it's like a slightly better record. But they're at least hitting home runs. They're at least trying to hit home runs. And a lot of that is, I guess, Jake Berger, who, they sent down to begin with. They chose Hanser Alberto over Jake Berger. And it's just, that's just, it's an indictment on the team and how they run it. The GM, sure. But in terms of positivity, the offense seems to be there. The frustrating part is it's like, you look at this year, you look at last year. You put this offense on last year's team, they might be good. You put last year's pitching on this year's team, they might be good. But that's like the story of the last decade. It's like they can't align it. And that's what kickstarted the first rebuild. And it's like, so I don't want to go down that road. But yeah, I mean, the positivity is they do seem to be making an attempt to hit the ball in the air. Whether it's soft, at least they're trying to hit it in the air softly rather than on the ground softly. So I'll run with that as my positive.
That's fair. I agree with Gabe in that the Sox bats are not good right now, and it doesn't help that Yoan and TA are out of the lineup. You take a guy who's supposed to get on base at a decent clip and can slug at a decent clip too with Yoan, and also a guy who actually hits like
The
Tim.
TA is killer because it
Right.
just shifts everything, right? Puts Elvis Andrus at shortstop. It leaves a gaping hole in second, right? And
Lennon Sosa, so bad.
if Tim is healthy, second base is like a revolving door of capable utility guys, right? But he's not healthy, and so it's a nightmare.
Right.
No.
And then on top of that, Yohan Moncada being out, and then you have to plug Berger at third or possibly second, right? I mean, it's a nightmare right now with those two out because your left side of the infield that you've invested a lot of resources into is out. And you're going to suck because of that, especially since Tim has been known as that guy who's the straw that drinks, the straw that drinks or stirs the drink. Words are hard. Thank you. The straw that stirs the drink. And Yohan Moncada looked fucking fantastic to start the year.
Yeah.
And I know health is an issue with him, like with the back and it's ever since that one game and I think it was 2019 when he slid headfirst into third base and he fucked up his wrist. And that was another thing too. Or his shoulder. That's what it was, right? The shoulder injury.
What was the year he posted like a 4 or 5 WAR and everyone's like, get me back to that Moncada?
Exactly. And I'm I would love Yohan Moncada to play defensively like he has the last couple of years and also hit like he did in 2019. That's yet to be seen. He was the number 1 prospect in baseball, which is another problem, right? Like you traded away Chris Sale and you expected Yohan Moncada to be your future, like a cornerstone piece to your franchise. And that just hasn't been the case. I really do believe that he can still get there. He's very young, but I do want to also mention this, the lack of plate discipline. The lack of plate discipline is so bad. And I'm going to go back to yesterday's game. Okay. Shane McClanahan, the pitcher for the Tampa Bay Rays who faced the White Sox.
32 swings and misses, under 90 pitches.
32 swings and misses. Did you say under 90 pitches?
Yes.
And it was on 49 swings. That is the highest whiff percentage in a single start in StatCast history.
All right.
Minimum 25 swings.
That is, and I'll double up on that. So Sarah Langs, who's great. Everybody loves Sarah Langs. She tweeted out, so for a pitcher that started and threw less than 90 pitches, before yesterday, the record on swings and whiffs was 25. In 88 pitches yesterday, Shane McClanahan generated 32 whiffs.
Yep.
So under 90 pitches, they broke the record by 7 swings and misses. That is very hard to accomplish, considering that the prior record was held by several people, including Lance Lynn, but it was 25. So as far as throwing under 90 pitches, getting pulled, and having the amount of whiffs he had, I don't think that'll ever be replicated again. I think that is the record. I think that's like almost Cal Ripken-esque.
Absolutely. And I like what you said earlier about how the White Sox plate approach is, okay, at least we're trying to hit the ball in the air. Unlike last year, right? It was hit the ball on the ground, like, fuck it, like hit 300, Frank Manachino.
Yeah,
fuck the home run.
Let's get a bunch of 150 hitters and have them hit 300, yeah.
Right. Now, on top of that, though, the other side of the coin is you can't swing and miss as much as you do. The ball has to be in play in order for you to score runs. So that's another huge issue with the White Sox right now. And that was the issue I saw that was most glaring for the White Sox this weekend, especially in the Saturday and Sunday games. You can't swing and miss as much as you do and not put the ball in play. Yeah, Luis and Eloy, this series actually fairly decent. Like our guy, Sean Jankowski here said, it finally looks like he's swinging the bat well. He's seeing the ball better, it looks like. But Luis in particular, just swinging at bad pitches consistently. And it's really frustrating, especially when this is a guy that has been with the team and up with the team since 2020. So he's had that time to develop. And it's kind of the same old song and dance with him.
Yeah, I mean, to Sean's point and to your point, it's like these guys show flashes, right? You see flashes of Eloy, like last year towards the end of the year when it was over and he was finally back. He homered in 3 straight games. He homered in 2 straight games against a tough Tampa team. Luis will show up. He'll hit 5 home runs in 5 games, but then he'll follow it up by going 2 for 40. Yeah. So it's like, what is causing this inconsistency? And for me, I sit here and I think to myself, I'm like, you put these guys in an organization that's competent. They have the support staffs. They have all this stuff. Can they take the flashes that these guys show and sustain them? Yep. Right? And so my concern with the White Sox is they have no idea how to do that, how to take it, because there are like these guys like Eloy, Moncada, like Robert, like Vaughn. They all show these like flashes in 3 to 5 game spans where it's like, this is what we expected. And then they'll fall off the cliff where it's like, this person is entirely broken. So is that a breakdown in, analyzing the players you're acquiring? Is it more of a breakdown in your internal systems?
Yeah. And this brings up a guy from comment from Steven Lombardo here in the comments here. We all know how this goes. Kenny retires, Rick gets promoted, and gets as the next GM. It's very possible that happens. I don't know what it is. I really can't put my thumb on it completely. I'll be 100% honest, but it is a systemic issue from the top going all the way down to the players, right? And when everything else is deteriorating above you, it's all going to crumble down onto the players, right? So, and I get it, fuck management and the owner, but like you also like, I don't know if today's baseball player has that same mentality of that, right? There needs to be that front office support. There needs to be that competent ownership and that competent GM, and the White Sox don't have that. So
and they don't have the support systems, that they show it up.
Carrie. The comment section is so fucking stupid right now.
Sorry.
Jesus Christ. That one's killing me.
So stupid.
Okay, I'm reading.
Yep. He's reading them now. This is good. It's always this fantastic. It really is. Now he's laughing. It's good. It's good.
You can hate everybody.
I have a tiny penis. Just.
Oh my god!
Oh, it is so true. Yeah, I mean, what I will say is, you talk about an organization top to bottom, right? Being so shitty like the White Sox, right? Then you look at the Tampa Bay Rays the Sox just played, right? I love it. Because that's not actually Justin. There's no way. It's got to be one.
Someone throw a dragon emoji on there.
It's Jimmer John. It's easily Jimmer John in the comment section. Did you officially block Jim from the comments, by the way?
No, I let him back in.
Okay. I tried to put him back on.
Timeout is over.
Yeah, I tried to put him back on timeout.
What I was saying is, you look at the Rays, right? How they're constructed from top to bottom, besides obviously paying people, even though they have paid $100 million contract and the White Sox have never done that. You see what an organization that cares from top to bottom, from your GM, your president of operations, your scouts, like you care about scouting and development. You see what that does, because I will say the Sox have more talent than the Tampa Bay Rays.
Oh, no doubt.
The Rays, you think like, okay, Wander Franco's fucking fantastic and Brandon Lau is awesome. Right?
Randy Rosarena.
Randy Rosarena. Okay, you got like 3 guys, but like the Sox, I mean, Eloy, Yohan, Robert. I mean, these guys were like Tim Anderson. These guys were top prospects. God damn it. And you just see like the difference in how they've outdone on every aspect of everything this week with the Rays. So it's very depressing because you know that.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the Rays, right? They have an actual they have an actual support staff, right? They know what it takes to win today. So what today entails is having a good pitching staff, have people that can hit fucking home runs. They've hit a home run in every game they've played in this year.
Every game.
They've hit a home run in every game they played in. So they are intelligent. They have like 45 front office people. We have 2 dumbasses with a fucking abacus.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you hit on 2 things perfectly. And the first is, you said they hit a home run, basically hit a home run every single game they played this year. Okay. Think about that and think about the White Sox lineup and think about their lineup constructions. Okay. The lineup construction of each team is so different. The White Sox are built on, we're going to out-slug you. We're going to hit the ball out of the fucking park like no one else. And guess what they don't do? They don't hit the ball out of the ballpark like everyone else. It took how long for Andrew Vaughn and Eloy Jimenez to hit their first home run this year?
Yeah.
They both happened this week. Like,
who leads the team in home runs? The guy that they decided wasn't worthy of being on the opening day roster.
Exactly. Times Alberto was, chosen instead of him.
Jake Berger is like one of the best fucking players on this team because he can hit the goddamn ball hard.
And that's a problem.
Yep. It's a major problem. So lineup construction is another thing. Another part that you brought up, Sir Man Soo Lee here, Samuel, is that front office. The Rays have taken their resources and they don't spend like a big market team. Instead, what they do is they allocate their resources and put them into analytics. And there are people behind the scenes who are plugging in numbers into algorithms and saying, hey, these are the guys that you need to start today. These are the guys that need to come out of the bullpen.
And this is the order that you should align them in.
Right. Yep. That too.
Putting them in the best position to win it every game.
Exactly. And on top of that too, and when it comes to bullpen usage too, yes. I talked about this on Saturday, Friday with my guy Tommy. It's ridiculous to think that, I bet Pedro Grifol is probably the only one making decisions on who needs to come out of the pen. Yeah, I doubt it's even Ethan Katz.
No, maybe they're talking together.
Yeah, sure. I bet Pedro gets the final decision, and Ethan Katz has a little bit of a say. Whereas teams who are succeeding over the long haul, over the past decade, teams who have been good at this thing and good at bullpen usage, use analytics and have a department that is plugging in numbers behind the scenes and say, okay, these are the matchups you're about to have. Put in this guy.
So, I agree with you, White Sox guy.
White sucks, big sucks guy.
It's almost mind-boggling to me. It's like, all right, so the White Sox, Jerry was willing. What's our payroll this year? It's close to 180.
Yeah, it's like 180. It was 196 last year or something like that.
So Jerry was willing to at least give a decent budget, right? And it's like Rick Hahn looked at the Yankees team from a few years ago that had that really good bullpen, and he thought, or the Royals too. The bullpen is the future, right? He spends us. When you look at the White Sox, right? What is the one thing that this organization does right? The one thing this organization does right, arguably, is developing bullpen talent.
Oh.
If you look at when they were, in sell-off mode, so when they were signing guys to minor league contracts to try and develop them and then ship them off for a product like Swarzak, Soria, those types of guys, they had a lot of success. Who are some of the best people in our, like Middleton has been really good.
Yeah.
Santos has been really good.
Yeah, both those guys have surprised me big time.
And so it's like this organization that is constricted on salary, right? Whether you like it or not, there is a constriction on salary. And so I think the frustrating thing is like they've spent, 30 to 40% of their budget on the bullpen.
Yeah.
And none of that they've spent on, I mean, Graveman's been okay, but for the most part, all the shit they spent on, it doesn't work. And it's like, it's the one area that they can actually develop talent in internally. So why would you not? I mean, I know it's been beat to death, and I'm not saying anything new here, but why not take that 30 to 40 million per year you're spending on a fucking garbage veteran relievers and put it towards a superstar like Machado, or put it towards a superstar
But not
like
even
Harper.
not even superstars. Why didn't they go and just
Get Brandon Nimmo.
Nick Castellanos and Kyle Schwarber, who got less than $100 million? Like, these are guys that are fucking proven good hitters, and they just Rick Hahn just seems like he wanted to play in the top of the market or not play at all, right? And that's what's been. That's what happened the past 2 off seasons, right? Like, you see those middle league guys that aren't, the Bryce Harper, Manny Machado's, and you see them go for 75 million, 85 million, maybe 100 million, and those guys hit power. But what did he do? Instead, he fucking used that. He actually finally did that this year and got Andrew Benintendi.
How many barrels does he have this year?
I don't even
like one singular.
I think it was today, probably.
Yeah. He was in the first percentile for barrel rate amongst hitters.
But like, the move makes no sense. Like you could go get a Bellinger for
5 years.
And like
5 years.
Now you have this guy for 5 years. Like, it's just a total.
Well, it's Bellinger 1 year.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, that's the Benintendi contract is more risky than the Bellinger contract.
Yes.
Like, think about that. If you want to talk about risk and reward, okay? I know that Bellinger got paid more per year, but you can't be thinking about per year, all the time. You've got to think about the long term. You've got to think about $75 million guaranteed is going to this guy.
Let me give you two.
He figures it out.
Let me give you two a hypothetical.
Yes.
Cody Bellinger, instead of Benintendi, we sign him 1 year, $20 million. He comes to the White Sox. Do you think his stats are what they are if he's playing for the White Sox today?
I mean, he has just as much lineup protection, I would think, right? Even though on paper he has more lineup protection.
But the Cubs are more analytical and put their players.
So he went from hitting like sub 100 and striking out like 5 times in a game to showing up, and now he's hitting like 360 on the season, and he's hitting home runs, and he looks like the old Cody Bellinger. And so I guess my question to you guys is, if you think he came into the White Sox and he struggled to begin with, do you think that he would have found that footing that he has found today with the Cubs? Or do you think that's an analytical failure on the White Sox side where the Cubs do succeed?
Yeah, I think it is an analytical failure, to be honest with you. I think it's the lack of being able to recognize guys' strengths and guys' weaknesses and what needs to be worked on. I really do. You look at the White Sox and you look at, there are 3 guys, 3 cornerstone pieces who should be carrying this roster. It should be Tim, it should be Yohan, it should be, it's 4 guys.
4 guys.
It should be Tim, Eloy, Yohan, and Luis. 3 of them were top 10 prospects in Major League Baseball at one point. One was number 1 and one was number 2.
And the other one was number 3.
Giolito was 3.
No.
Oh,
Eloy was 2, right?
No, Luis was 2. Did Eloy ever get that high? I don't know if Eloy ever got that high.
Eloy was 3, actually. Eloy was 3 because it was the year Vladimir Guerrero was 1.
Right. And then on top of that, you've also got a first-round pick in Tim. You've got another first-round pick in Andrew Vaughn. It's talent recognition and development for me. That's what.
Yeah. So when it comes to the way that they drafted when they were at the front of the draft, it seems to me like They would rather supplement their perceived core with expedited draft picks, right? Guys who are in college, guys who could maybe get there in a year or so, and that's the cheap alternative to signing a bona fide person. And you see that with Andrew Vaughn. And I love Andrew Vaughn. I think he's going to be good. I think he's been put in a position to fail. I think if he was in any other organization, he'd be doing a lot better. And I'm very happy that he's finally out of the outfield. I think the Nick Madrigal thing is on the same plane. It's like you are tanking to build a sustainable pipeline, right? That's Han's thing. It's like, I'm going to build a sustainable pipeline. And when you draft in the top 10 and you're drafting for less potential and more who can help me sooner, because you'd rather do that than spend.
This is why they have the worst farm system in baseball again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and hopefully they're taking the right route with the Colson Montgomery pick. Hopefully they're taking the right route with the Noah Schultz pick, the big lefty that they got. That was a high school pick out of our state here in Illinois. I think that is the one shift that they're finally getting on, but it's too late. It's too late.
It's too late because if you look at it, right, if you look at the team, there is no talent in AAA. There's none. No. There's maybe none in AA. Kannapolis finally looks really good, right? Like the lower ranks of their system look actually pretty good.
Well, Colson's up to AA now, so
yeah, but he's hurt, right?
Yeah. I believe so.
Yeah. So it's for on my end, it's like I see some potential on the back end, but there is no immediate help in AAA. There is, I mean, that's why they're signing guys like Piscotty, De Los Santos, whoever. Mm-hmm. And it does feel like, it's kind of fucked up, right? Because I bought the minor league package back in 2017 or something, or 2016 to follow, like the Makadas, the Aloys, the Roberts, all those guys. And like all subscriptions, I don't cancel it. So I still have it. And I find myself sitting here in 2023 more interested in watching the fucking minor league games than the major league team. And that is fucked.
It is fucked up. That's where we were in 2018. We are back to where we were in 2018. Actually, that's a fucking shame. And that's on Rick Hahn. That's on this entire front office.
They haven't had this. They haven't been 8 games below 500 since 2019. And so put 2 and 2 together, it's Rick Hahn. Essentially, what we just did was we waited 5 to 6 years to just be back where we started.
To have 2 players
mired in mediocrity.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
In mediocrity, and we're never ever getting out of it. And that's why I told Steve, okay, these past 2 days I've told myself I'm done caring. I can't care anymore. That's it. Okay, so I am not emotionally invested in this team anymore. I'm not gonna, I'm gonna watch them still, and if they win, they win. They lose, whatever. Okay, but I have no hope. I have no hope. I don't care, and I can't care. I'll go to one more game this year. I'll bring the nephew, and that's it. That's it.
I mean, from my perspective, right? It's like you take a step back, and it's like, they've had really tough schedule to start off, but they should be the part of other teams' schedules that are tough.
Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. At this point, it's like you should be dreading playing the White Sox, not like we're gonna feast on these motherfuckers. And so that is like, it's just so brutal. I mean, it's just brutal to sit through what we went through and just to have like 1 year and just to have game 3 of the ALDS. Like, this team has not won a playoff series
since 2005.
Like I told you guys, the White Sox playoff series drought, you can have sex with them consensually. It's been 18 years.
Yeah.
It's been 18 years. The
Yeah,
White
sure,
Sox
man.
playoff series drought could have sex with you, and you don't even have to worry about it. That's how fucking bad it's been. It's been
That is a
18 goddamn years since they won a series in the playoffs.
Well, on that note, we got 3 games against Toronto coming up on the road. A 13-9 Toronto Blue Jays team that's hungry and they are gunning for a playoff spot. We also have the bottom part of our rotation going. How are you feeling about that, our guy?
Me? How am I feeling?
Yes, you. Yes.
I have no expectations.
Yep.
I'm just, they have made me, it's beating a dead horse. They've made me apathetic. It's just
Yep.
very apathetic. It's just like, okay, they're playing a team they can't win. I'll check the score in the 6th to see where they're at. If they're playing okay,
Exactly.
I'll turn the TV on. And then when I turn the TV on, they fuck me over anyway. So
Yep.
100%. 100%. I know Carey feels basically the same exact way. So.
yeah, so I mean, it's like it's brutal in the sense that this is not a good team, and they're being forced to play good teams.
Yep.
To start, and you see that because they can't win, and they're only like what 4, 5 out. They should
5
be 10
out.
out.
Yep.
They should be 10 out.
100%. 100%. The AL Central is that fucking bad. It really is.
So I think they're gonna end up staying. We'll see what happens. I mean, I'm a sucker, right? So they win. They haven't won 2 games in a row all year. They win 2 games in a row.
That's so good. No, that's horrible.
It's fucking crazy, right? They have not won 2 games in a row.
They win 2 games in a row. I'm tweeting, "We're back. We're back. Suck my dick." You know.
No, it's so true though. It really is. And that's where I'm at.
Tigers have a fucking better record than us.
Well, the issue that I have, I feel like when the White Sox play the Tigers, AJ Hinch is like, I really fucking want to beat these motherfuckers, and then the team plays up for him, right? Because he's not an idiot. He knows what happened. His fucking signature was on the Tony La Russa hire.
I know, it's fucking hilarious.
So it's always personal, and so for him, if he can take the Tigers with like a payroll of $100 million less and show up the White Sox, he's gonna fucking love that all day, every day.
Yeah, I mean, either the White Sox like sneak out a victory against the Tigers every time, or it's like we get our dicks kicked in. That's how it always ends up, right? At least that's how I feel like.
My balls are in my chest right now.
I mean, where I'm at with the White Sox, they're 5 games back. Now, I always reflect back on the 2019 Nationals every time. Okay.
What about the 2005 Astros?
Or the 2005 Astros even. They had a shitty ass start to their season.
15-30.
Yes, exactly. So 19-31 was the worst that the Nationals got early on. Okay, so that is I got to do the math here. 12 games below 500, right? When the White Sox hit 12 games below 500, then I'm like, I'm going to be out. I'm completely out. So I'm not completely out yet, but I could be.
I'm not completely out yet because I'm the stupid idiot that is like, oh, this has been a bullshit, tough schedule. They're playing the Rays, who are doing their thing.
The hottest team in a decade.
But the first time they played the Nationals or the Royals or the Tigers, that first series, if they don't do it.
Yep, 100%. They got to take care of bad opponents. They got to really, really take care of business.
So then let me ask you this here, while we finish this up. They have 7 games, the next 7 games against the Toronto Blue Jays and the Tampa Bay Rays. I know what I'm predicting out of those 7, but I'll let you guys go first.
0-6 for you, Carey.
You can't 0-6 out of 7 games, Steve, and you teach your youth.
Rain out. There's a rain out. There's a rain out somewhere.
Yeah. I think they go 2-5. I really do. I think they go 2-5, and they might. And I think it's going to be the first game of the Blue Jays and the Rays series. So that's it. That's it. 2-5.
It does stink to. It is hurtful to line up Cease with McClanahan. That was brutal.
Yeah, 100%. But the problem is too, he got outdueled. Dude, Cease got outdueled.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the Rays are just a good team. I mean, it's
Very good.
I sit here, I fluctuate between being angry and being facetious and comedic and all this stuff. Like, I don't know what to do at this point. I don't know what to do with myself.
I mean, I'm just going to talk shit about this ball club until they finally prove me wrong. So, what's your prediction, Sam?
On
these next two series? We got
so
Toronto,
we got 7 against
three out of 7.
4 against Tampa. 4 against Tampa and 3
7-0.
So I fucking love the optimism.
7-0.
7-0. That way, no one can tweet at me saying I'm negative. We're going 7-0 because baseball makes no sense.
It doesn't. It really. The older I get, the more I realize that. The more I'm like, baseball it's so.
Well, the Pirates are what, 15-7?
Yeah,
yes.
The Pirates.
I'm really drunk.
You are really drunk, but I love the optimism. I need more drunken optimism in my life.
Mike, I'm really drunk.
I'm gonna meet both of you right in the middle, and I didn't realize they had 4 games against Tampa. I thought it was 3. So. I know, and that's why I got that 6 number in my head. Okay. All right.
Fucking blowjob.
Blow me. I'm gonna go 4-3. The White Sox are gonna go 4-3, win 4 out of 7.
If the White Sox go 4-3 over the next 7, you can suck me back in. That's for sure.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
I can be talked into the White Sox if they go 4-3 over the next 7.
If they go 4-3, I'll do our podcast when I'm back from Vegas. I'm going to Vegas. I don't know if you knew that or not, but I'll do my podcast shirtless the entire time.
You're going to Vegas. You're engaged to get married, right?
Yes. So I'll be the bachelor next week. So I don't even have to worry about the White Sox next week. I'll be so fucking drunk that I don't even have to worry about that.
So you want me to start a GoFundMe for like a stripper thing for you?
Yeah, that's fine. I thought you were gonna say my toe fund me. But...
Never forget our guy, Jay Gucci 07.
What is that? The Comcast remote guy?
No, that's Jorge. We like Jorge.
Jorge Ibarra. That's
dude's got a dick.
What a fucking hammercock, bro!
I love it.
Holy shit.
Our Comcast remote's worth. Imagine that. As a Jewish person, I can never, but
it's out of the question. I completely agree.
Holy shit!
Good way to end.
And that's the White Sox for you, baby.
It really is.
Baseball to Jewish schmeckles.
When we're
L'chaim.
When we get from changing your conversation point from the White Sox to penises, we're on the right track here. So I think this is a good place to wrap it up. Carrie, we hope you enjoy Vegas. We hope you wear that Nikki Two Strikes t-shirt that you've got.
Congratulations on the future sex.
This is like a shirt that I wear to bed that like could be ruined, jizz rag even.
That's great. I'm so happy for you. I know
and
you like
Steve-O's got a ring on his finger, so he's having sex. So congrats to both of you on the sex. That's awesome.
Yeah. Absolutely. Consistent buns. That's really what I'm in it for.
Yeah,
actually,
that's awesome.
Let's be real. Marriage and a dog, I mean, that just, that kind of diminishes. And a mortgage. That really honestly just diminishes everything.
Wrap it up just
I
like
don't
a
need
penis.
to wrap it, to be honest.
This guy Mike is hilarious. Mike, you're
fantastic.
fucking hilarious.
Mike Praz is
He's
a good
the best
dude.
Cub fan on Twitter.
He really is. He really is.
All right, I'm going to follow him.
Yes, please, yeah, you definitely should.
He's good.
The Praz Master. On that note, I think we're gonna wrap this thing up. Carrie, are we gonna record then next weekend?
Next weekend I will be in Vegas still.
Okay, so I will find a co-host, and let's get buck wild on Sunday.
Well, I mean, I'll be back around like 6 p.m. on Sunday.
Yeah, but you're going to be incapacitated.
Very true.
Get your rest. get
play
your
by
rest,
ear,
and
you know?
we'll find a co-host.
Sounds good. Just
Love you guys.
I asked not Jim.
Fair, definitely not Jim. Sam, it was beautiful having you on, sir. This was fantastic. Signing off.
Yeah.
Signing off. It's the Believe Boys. Make sure you rate, subscribe, review to the podcast, to the show on YouTube. And
5 stars, motherfuckers.
5 stars, always. And thank you to those of you in the comment section. As always, it was beautiful. Have a great night, and don't forget about how Carrie's penis compares to Jorge's.
Yes, and thank you guys for having me on.
Of course.
Oh yes, no, you have some final words. I'm sorry, I almost cut you short.
Oh, do I have final word?
The last minute is yours, sir.
Yeah, so hang on. I gotta figure out what this is.
No, you're good.
We're all just chilling. Hang on.
We are. But our guy Sam here, Man Soo Lee, has some final words and a shout out that he wants to give. So we're gonna let him do that.
Yeah, we are. I think I deleted it. Is it in the trash? This is incredible. I am doing a terrible job.
No, you're good, buddy. I can make audio edits too, so don't you sweat it.
Oh yeah, I got it. So listen. Very rare form of cancer that has made its way into my life. It's the fuck. It's terrible. It's terrible. Anyway, donate to this foundation.
Yes, absolutely. We will. We're gonna send that link to us, Sam, and we're gonna put it in the posts.
I'll send a link. So this it's a very rare form of cancer, and it means a lot to me. It's my best friend, like literally my best friend. So anyone that wants to contribute to Man Soo Lee's bullshit, contribute to Man Soo Lee's bullshit through a good cause. I love you guys. Thank you very much.
Much love, buddy. Cheers, and best to your friend. Seriously.
Yeah.
Will definitely be in my thoughts. So.
Yeah, I love you, Steve-O. I love you, Carrie. Beyond the White Sox being bullshit, you guys are very good people. You bring attention to good causes, and so
100%.
That's what it's all about. So
absolutely,
love you guys.
Love you too, and hey, let's get drinks soon. All right.
Yeah. No, come over.
Will do, man.
Peace.
Hey, cheers, brother. Have a good one, everybody.
Love you guys.
Peace.